All right, hey y'all, how's it going today? We're back with another low-key stream today. I'm playing with having my overhead lights on. It makes the cam work better, I think. Although I feel a little less like structured. I don't know. We can also just like go hi-ya, and see how we like that better. I kind of like it better, even if it is a little bit grainier. Anyway, let me know if that's something that you even care about. I don't care. The sad part is I actually like. Back in the day, I'd have like an intro screen, right? And the intro screen would have, like, you just kind of saw it at the beginning of this video, and I'd have like music playing over the top of it. But I thought people liked that sort of thing, right? But apparently, no. Like the last live stream I did with audio, people were like, no, we don't need audio on top of technical things. All right, cool. So I'm playing music, which you can't hear, but I can hear. So enjoy whatever tunes behind this you want. We're gonna do something weird today. So yesterday, let's share screen, right? Yesterday we were working on this beer list app for my dad. I made it for him for Christmas. He had some features that he was looking for, and we were updating it, right? So it's an Astro website, so localhost 4321. And things we added yesterday, right? We added a venue area here. You can see I've actually gone in and added the state because my father has a long history in news, and so he's used a lot of CMSs in the past, and he knows that he can just make things work sometimes. And so, being the typical user that we've all come to know and love in terms of being a developer, he started putting the state on the same city line and mucking up my data. So I said, "Whoa, I'll put state on there. I'll add it in. Let me do that technologically. Don't don't go mucking about with my data," which is of course his data, but you know, whatever. So yeah, so that's what we kind of did yesterday. We added a whole bunch of new things. We added to make sure that, let's go Fall City Brewery. We added this new dynamic route at the venue so that we could come see all these things, and they all have ratings. And one of the things I was thinking about this morning, well, actually, he had another request, and I've actually already taken care of part of it. There's some data inconsistencies. It was missing some, like 70-ish were missing venues or missing the location information on a check-in. And that's because a lot of them had a different version of at home that I wasn't expecting. And so one of the things I did this morning was to run a script that converted all those insanity for me. I still have other things to do. You can see, still some that are missing their locations. That's going to be, there are 31 left, I think, that are a problem. And that's going to require me to go in and scrape that data from Untapped again. Hey, Alan, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in yesterday, and thanks for being back today. I'm yeah streaming again. It's important to have like interesting things that actually want to stream. And I thought that yesterday's was pretty fun, and today's I think is going to be fun too because we have all this data, right? And part of the reason I put this together was again so that like my dad could introspect on like the things that he likes and why he likes certain things and why he doesn't like certain things. And that's all good. And it also made it easier. So like when my wife or I are getting some beers to take down to him from Michigan, I can come up here and look for I don't know, right here, right? I've got Pilsner from Michigan Pilsner, so I could do that, and I could be like, oh, do we have any other? Oh, here are all the Founders Brewing. So like when we're at the store looking, and there's a whole display of Founders Brewing Company from Grand Rapids, I can say, oh, well, he's already had these five or these however many this is, but not that one, right? So like that's all good. That's actually useful. But part of what I like about being a developer and doing these types of things is that we don't have to be of use, right? Of use is not something that we necessarily have to do. In the background, interestingly enough, I still have yesterday's stream up, which is, I'm going to close that out so it doesn't distract me. So I thought it'd be really interesting if I made a little game on this site. So like maybe at like slash beer battle, something like that, right? We have a beer battle, and on that beer battle, we take 2 different beers from the database, and we say which one was rated higher, and give it a few, give details on each one. Maybe have a little card view side by side, and then you click on one. Maybe you submit, or maybe you just click on it. Maybe it's a single click, and it tells you if you're right or not. And then maybe we keep a state, and we keep track of a score, and you see how far you can get, or what the score you can get after a certain number. We have like 930 beers in the system, so I don't know what that would be in terms of doing that like 1v1, right? But that's a large number of combinations that we can have there, whatever that is. I don't know the statistics behind that. Anyway, so I thought that's what we would do today. See how far we could get in like an hour, hour and a half. I'm probably going to write it. It'll be an Astro route, and then from there it'll be maybe a React game, because I think it's going to have enough state that I don't want to just do it in vanilla JavaScript. You could very easily, I think, do something like this in vanilla JavaScript, but I think for what I want to do, it would probably be easier to do it in React. It is a so yeah. Alan points out in chat that it's a respectable number of beers. It is over the course of he's almost been checking in for a decade now. I think it's 8 years, if I remember correctly. The first check-ins were in 2016, and the thing to keep in mind is that some of them are flights, right? So they're like little, like 3 or 4 ounce tasters that he'll be able to drink 9 beers in a night. They're not 9 pints, right? They're 3 ounce tasters. So he enjoys the act of tasting new beers. He wants to find new beers. He wants to taste them. So also for Christmas, I bring him literally 12 beers. And then we sit around, and he gives like a sample to everyone as we kind of sit around. My brother, he, myself, our wives. My mother, when the sours are involved, because he hates the sours, we make sure that we force him to drink a sour or two. But yeah, so it's totally respectable number there. All right, so we need a new route. Interesting. What's my API? Oh yeah, I've got API routes already that are processing check-ins and stuff like that. But we need a new route. It's going to be a beer battle.astro. And that's going to be where we're at. So we're going to give it some front matter. We're going to give it a layout. I don't know exactly what all I'm going to need. It's been so long since I wrote a singular page. So what's my layout? Do I have a layout? I do. And the layout does have a title. All right, cool. So we're going to grab my layout component. It's going to have a title of beer battle. Title of beer battle, sure. Let's see what we kind of get here. Oh, coming soon. Thanks. That's super helpful. But that's kind of what we need right now, so that's fine. I'll use Copilot throughout here. I think if you follow me on various social platforms, you know that I'm not like super AI fan. But a little bit here and there helps me out, especially on things that are beyond what I'm used to writing. So we'll see some of that today. And I have been paying for GitHub Copilot for a little while. All right, so here we go. Quantifiably brewed by Gary, beer battle. In fact, let's have another paragraph here that describes the game. See how well you know Gary's taste in beers. We'll display 2 beers. You choose which he ranked higher, and we'll probably have to have something in there too that will be equal, right? Because it's possible. I think he ranks at quarter granularity, right? So like 4 1/4 is a thing that he might rank at. You choose which you ranked higher, or if they are the same. So that we got a little description there. We'll play around with styles later on. We're just going to try to get the functionality done. All right, so then we're going to want a game area. And the game area is probably where a lot of our state's going to be. So we're going to go ahead and move that into a React component, which means we need to initialize React, which doesn't come by default in Astro. So we're going to run npx astro add React. And it's going to add the things that we need. Astro really has thought through a lot of this, which is really nice. Yep, want all that. Wow. All right. Let's make sure that it did install that in my config. It usually does. Oh, and this should totally be on a different branch. Git checkout game. All right. Astro config React. Awesome. We do have React there. Oh, and I've got the Netlify adapter because I do have some routes that are running SSR, and that's those API routes because I'm actually doing things on those. All right, so we have React installed, which means that we can then have a React component. Close out pages, close out breweries. There we go. So we have components. Most of these are, interestingly enough, I do have a table.tsx, which doesn't exist anymore, which we don't need. Oh, I probably had React already installed, if I'm being honest, because I tried a React table to begin with before I got the vanilla JS table functionality. All right, so we need a new thing, which is going to be our rating game.tsx. I'll probably regret making that TypeScript, but we'll see. And then we're going to export function rating, probably async function, right? I don't know if I'll actually need it. Function, no, not get stack props, rating game, and then that will return a component. Let's just start it with an H1. All right. And then come back to beer battle, put it down here, rating game. I was hoping it would pick it up, but it's not going to. So we will import rating game. Is that right? Components dot rating game dot not Astro. All right. I think that'll be right. Yep, there's my game. So we have that, but because this is Astro, it doesn't know if that is meant to be client-side. So no client-side JavaScript is working here. It is just bringing in information at that point, which we want a little bit of both. So that'll be interesting. All right, so we have a React component that's being brought in here. Let's go ahead and say maybe client idle. So when it's idle, when the thread is idle, let's go ahead and instantiate the JavaScript portions of this. And then in here, we can go ahead and start giving it some information. We need to pass it in. I got to think about how I want to do this, right? Because I could give it all the beers. I actually probably need to get the beer list on the static aspect of this so that I can pass it in when I need to. So let's say we want to get const beers equals, and that's going to be await, get collection, and get my beers. So this is just going to get all the beers with all the data that I'm using to populate the main table. And then theoretically, right, I could just, let's also get a beer count, const beer count equals beers.length. Just so that's its own piece. And let's pass, I guess I want to pass both of those things in. So let's pass them in as props here. So beers equals beers. And in fact, this is where some of the Astro stuff kind of becomes strange. I don't know if this is going to happen at the right time, but we'll see. And then beer count equals, and well, I suppose, yeah, part of the reason we're getting beer count, right, is so that we can do random number, right? We can get two random beers from there. All right, so beer count is going to be beer count, and both of those things should now be in this function. So we can say from our props, give me the beers and give me the beer count. Which one are you? Because the types aren't used. That's fine. All right, and then console log beers and beer count, just so we can make sure all that's coming through. So all that logs here, because that's logging at the server time when React is running this. And then theoretically, it should also run in the console here. And it is. Awesome. Component was suspended by an uncached promise. Or hook is not yet supported. Suspends compatible library. Oh. All right, that's fine. That's this. We don't actually want that to be async. I don't even really know why I put async there anyway. It's just kind of a default for me sometimes. All right, cool. So we have in our React component, we have all the data, and we have a number of stuff that we have there, which means that we can get two different beers. So when this runs, I guess we don't actually need to get it when it runs. We'll need it two different times, right? We'll need a function that updates the two beers. So let's write a quick function. We're gonna write outside. We're gonna write inside. So function of, that's kind of what we want, but actually what we're gonna need is we're gonna need to have state. So our state's going to be const board beers, I guess. And we do need to add state up here. So import use state from React. All right, so it's an array. And so when this loads up, ooh, what are you trying to do for me? Get random beer. Interesting. All right, so let's talk about what AI is trying to tell me here and whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. So function of start game. When would I run that though? I guess I'd run that in the use effect for when this gets mounted, I guess. So const new board beers equals, and then I don't know why we're doing this. That doesn't make any sense for me. I guess it's to look and see if it's to make it have two. That's an interesting way of doing it. I guess that's fine. But we also want to make sure that the get random beer does not return the same beer. So inside this for loop, we'll start with if new board beers. So we want, actually, we want to say const new beer equals get random beer. And then we're going to push to it, but we're only going to push to it if new beer doesn't equal new board beers 0. So at this point, we'll say, don't want that, if new beer doesn't equal new board beers 0, then push it in, right? And then that ends. Else, we need to get we need to run this again, which I don't really want to do. So we need let's make this function outside. It'll be a utility function. Function, compare beer. You know, let's not even worry about this edge case yet. We'll need to worry about it. I'll come back to it. I want to get as far as I can though. So we don't need this. This is fine, but we still need to push. So push the new beer in, and then new board beers, we're going to pass into set board beers. And then I'll probably want to console log that. Inside the function of start game, console log board beers. And let's put object syntax around it so that we can more easily find it. And I'm not running that function yet, so we need to run that function. So I think what I want to do is down here in a use effect, we're going to start the game. And I need to import that as well. Why do I have use up here? Use state and use effect. Oop. Expected to have. Oh, yep, here we go. And then that, yep. All right. So it starts with an array of 0, which is not what we want. Let's see. New board beers. New beer equals get random beer. The get random beer is looking at the beers list, which I have. And it is doing what I expected to do, math floor, math random, times the beer count. And that should give me a random beer from inside that list and return it back. So why am I not getting it? Are we not getting into this? Console log, new beer. All right, so we are getting that. That is coming with all of its information. But the board beers is remaining a blank array. Yeah, that's what I thought that would happen, so that's fine. All right. This is where my lower key React knowledge sometimes bites me. React, use effect for starting data. All right. You know, I probably don't even need this because I'm not waiting for anything. I can probably just start the game outside of use effect. React game, start game. I'm just kind of curious now how other people are doing little games. All right. React, game content, main info, blah, blah, blah. Setting a state. This is old school way, but that's fine. Init game handler. It's a function setting the state to the game. They've got a click. Game finish handler. All right, that's not what I care about. I mean, it's probably somewhat whack-a-mole game in React. That's kind of what we're doing. I mean, not quite. Rendering. It's fine. That's fine. Props message, blah, blah, blah. Date now. All right. Time. That's fine. Use effect, time current, set interval. All right, so it is setting the interval when it's being loaded. And this might be something in between that I have to worry about. Let's see. App, interval, update interval, fragment. So the time is here with the interval being passed to it. So we have time, but it's not actually getting the interval. So let's see where they update time. Here we go. Interval. So use state, timer. Oops. Starting point. Here we go. Interesting. So we have the moles, we have the timer, and we have the score. Use effect, internal time, update it when the internal time or on end. All right, so what's happening is this is start game running. It is because it's running through here, but this isn't happening for some reason. So argument any, that's just a type error. That's not what I'm worried about. Because theoretically that should fire, because we're firing the start game function from inside the use effect. So when it mounts, it will run this, and then it should loop through both of these, which is probably not waiting to do anything on. So really probably what I want to do is put this inside. Still array zeros. All right. Though I am getting a new beer and theoretically passing it in. Alan's down the web components rabbit hole, different way of thinking about things. Yeah, I got into web components too early, I think. I got into it playing around late 2019, and it felt right to begin with. And then I fell down the, there was actually an image I think Dave Rupert shared that was like, my path to web components, and it shows like just how deeply dissatisfied he became when he learned about the shadow DOM, and it goes down, and then like when I understood the shadow DOM, and it comes back up the other side, and I didn't make it through that trough. But I much prefer anything that's not overkill, and web components are platform, and I much prefer platform overall. So why is my state not being updated? That's the question. So I'm close enough to it. I can get to set board beers. I can get board beers. I'm pushing in twice. So why am I not getting that? Oh, well, let's see what this looks like at any given point. I don't want to set it. I want to log it. All right. Well, but see, yeah, new board beers. I mean, I shouldn't even have to do it both times, right? I should be able to wait until it's done and then push it in. But for some reason, it's not updating the state properly. And I'm guessing that's because, let's just make this client only for now. Nope. Although it's running 3 times now. Awesome. Because that's not actually what we wanted in terms of the for loop, right? Because it's starting the iteration at 0. There we go. Okay. I mean, in my opinion, this should live here. And I'm right, that's working. So set the set function here. I should be able to pass it an array, and it should, let's just set it to a blank string first, and let's set this to hello world. Okay. Still no good. Well, that's strange. I'm missing something dumb. I know that for sure. Board beers, set board beers. I'm calling those things. So right now, use state's an empty string. I'm supposed to be saying it's hello world when the start game runs. And we know the start game is running because we're getting these console logs. I was about to like run it outside somewhere else, but no, like we know that that's running because we're getting this. And we know that this is running because we're getting that, but this has wrong information based on the state. This is going to sound really weird, but like, are these, do I need to pass the state in? I don't think I need to. So board beers and set board beers. Well, I don't actually need to pass board beers in because it won't be a thing yet. Start game. It doesn't like that. Oh, that's fine. That's type. So we pass it in and we still don't get it. The setter gets passed in. Just out of curiosity, restart the server. I hate when the glorious idea that I have for my afternoon goes awry like this. Because I was going to be like halfway to this game being complete. We're going to be implementing scores at the 30-minute mark. New board beers is a proper array, but the string's not getting passed in. So yeah, I mean, the start game function doesn't need to have that passed in. Let's just console log that, right? Console log, make sure that function is even there. Set board beers. Whoa, did you see that? This is right now. When did that change? It changed. Oops, didn't mean to do that. All right, hold on. Let's get rid of that. Save. Refresh the page. Is it just taking that long? Huh. This is really weird. I'm listening to just random like lo-fi music in the background. It's even like royalty-free stuff just in case it comes across the mic, and there's a voice in this one and it sounds almost like my voice, and so it's throwing me off a little bit. Okay, well, that's super strange that when I bring in and I console log the set board beers setter function here, board beers, when that's here, oops, not sets, go away. Set board beers. When that is here, ooh, requested module, export name set. Oh, I did something weird. Huh. Now I'm getting just a super weird error. Get rid of what I just did. Save. Okay, so there's that. And then console log set board beers. And it works when I do that. That is quite strange to me. I absolutely should need to do this to get this. All right, well, if that's working, at least in that way, we can change the initial state to an empty array, and then we can set board beers to the new board beers. which it sets to 0. Okay. All right, so that is working now. Why wasn't it working before? And it's still not working on the first load. Huh. You know what? Let's just move all of this into that use effect. Let's not set it up as its own function. Go here. So we're gonna the use effect will be the starting of the game. New board beers is an array. See, the interesting thing that's happening here is that what we're actually getting, we're getting this running and working when Astro pulls, like does the hot module reload, which is an odd time to have that happen. Set an initial state when the game loads of 2 random beers. I suppose that's definitely one way of doing it. All right, and then console log board beers. This is what we were expecting. This is why it wasn't doing that with my longer stuff. I'll never know, but that's fine. We'll be okay. All right, so now that we've got 2 beers, we can build out our game board. So let's make a component. We'll separate this into its own file later. Function of beer card. Pass it a beer. And then let's also pass it the ABV and the IBU. And that will go in a loop. So this is going to become my new component. We'll put everything inside of a div. And then we'll say, all right, board beers dot map. This all needs to be inside curly braces. There we go. And of course, it needs a unique key. I always forget about doing that. Key will be equal to the beer.id. And honestly, all this needs to say that we need the data. So beer. I guess we'll just do it this way for right now. Beer.data.those things. Uncut error objects are not valid as a React child. Found object with keys, ID, name. Well, it's not a React child. If you meant to render a collection of children, use an array instead. Where are you complaining about that from? So returning that, we're getting the beer from the props. The props are here. Beer card gets passed a beer. console log beer. Let's wrap this as an object so we can take a look, make sure we're seeing what we're seeing. Beer is equal to that. That makes sense. That's good. But the problem is down here, I guess. Slug ID name. See, that's the data. Do I have a spot that is just beer.data? Here. Let's just say const. Yep. And then actually here. Do you like that better? No, we're still getting an error because it thinks I'm giving it something wrong somewhere. What did the console show for what's in beer? Beer has an ID, data, and a collection. I want that ID. The ID is here. That's fine. Pass it both the key and the beer. So object with keys, city, state, ID, name. This would be where it'd be really nice if it showed me where it was erroring. Brewery. Brewery is the problem. All right, that's fine. Yeah, there we go. All right, I'm not even going to show the city and state. We just want the brewery name. All right, and then let's make this have a card style. Okay. 2 cards. Let's put those side by side in a grid. Grid. I guess that doesn't work in this. All right, div class name equals grid cap 4. That's fine. All right, side by side, all good. All right, so in theory, what we want to do, we'll also need to pass it an on-click event that sets the state of correct or incorrect. And we'll need to know of any 2, which is the correct one. So we can do that in our use effect, and we will see which beer is better by the rating. So make variable that looks looks at both initial beers and gives the ID of the higher rated via my score. Well, I probably wouldn't have done that, but sure. All right, so const correct answer, set correct answer. There isn't one until the use effect. But once that happens, we set correct answer to the higher rated beer ID. And let's console log that. Ooh, what don't you like about that? Oh, because it's correct answer, not that. Correct answer. Which is null to begin with, and then this ID once it gets set. So then we want to pass that into our beer cards as well. Actually, we could probably pass a Boolean here if we wanted to. If I'm thinking that through properly, we could say that is correct equals, and then that would be beer.id equals correct answer. And then let's log that up here in our beer card. So let's say beer dot, actually let's bring this down. And we can say name and say is sure. Oh, and then we need not from beer data. We need it up here is correct. All right, so is false is true. And then what we can do is we can set a state of the game board that has answered, I guess. Const has answered. Use state false. We'll also check that here, I believe, because we want to reset the board. Let's hold off on that. We'll reset the board maybe with its own variable. Because what we'll want to do is we'll want to pass that in, has answered, into our beer card equals has answered. And we pass that into the card. And if the card has that, we can display the, we'll also want the set has answered in there as well, because we're going to set that as a click. And that also means that we need the set winner. Sure. All right. So we want to put in like a big area here, class name. Oh, don't want any of that. Why did you put that in there? I just wanted those classes. All right. H3, help if I type class name. All right, and this will be, actually all of this needs to be wrapped here, and it will be, it has answered, and then that, and that will show the my score, which I'm not even getting. My score. My score. So once it gets answered, it will insert the score here. Cool. And then let's see, we need a click event to do those things. So const handle click is a function. Gonna set both of those things, which will bubble up, which will be good. Set has answer to true, set winner. And we'll add that. I know I shouldn't do it here, but we're going to do it here for now. On click equals handle click. And can I just put pointer here? Cursor pointer. All right. Didn't like set has answer because I haven't passed that in. That's fine. So has answered. This is where having like one big state for these types of things is way better. Set has answered. Set has answered. And is that what we want? And then set winner, which isn't even a thing yet. Const winner, whoop, and set winner to null, which we'll want to reset in the use effect. Winner to null. Cool. All right. So what I want to do also is display whether you won or not, and put a background color on these. All right, so what we can do is come up here. We need a background. All this needs to be wrapped like that. So it'll be background of, let's see, let's just start with background white, and then we'll set if things are happening. So if we've got winner correct, right, is correct, and we'll set BG green, otherwise BG red. But we also need to wrap all of that in has answered. So let's move all of that logic not into my classes. Const background color equals okay, and then we want it to be if, actually now we gotta let background color equal BG white, and then if is correct. Actually, first we'll start with if has answered, and then we can do that. And then all this comes in and becomes this element completely there. So it starts out white. On click, I get to learn one way or the other. Set winner is not a function. Where am I using set winner? Here. Beer card. set winner equals set winner. Let's put beneath the cards a big area that showcases if you won. So this will be has answered. Yep, that's kind of what we want. Wrong. Wrong. All right. High IBU versus a beer. Correct. All right. All right, so then let's put next to it a little reset button. Reset. If I'm not looking for an if reset, we want to have an anchor, or actually a button that says reset or try again. And then the on click equal handle click const handle click. It's a function, and we're going to set reset equal to true. Actually, true. Close that, and then we need a new state of const reset set to false, and then we use that in our use effect. So when that changes, we update the game. 7 cities. Okay, but I need to reset everything. All right, so set winner, set has answered, reset. We're going to need set reset as well at the end. Otherwise, we'll get into infinite loops. Don't need to reset that. That's already being done. Correct answer is being done. Has answered winner and set winner. Let's see. Set winner to null. Okay. Dirty Dova. That's wrong. Why are you green? So that's the higher rated. So why is that green? Hopefully that's just a background color. Pharmacy pills is correct equals false. That's wrong. Try again. That one's correctly right. So that means these aren't coming through probably as numbers. So we need to coerce that. Let's get a type on that. Console log type of my score. Number. It's a number. So why is the... All right, well, I got that one right. Try again. Neon Leon. That's right. Broad hammer. Okay. I'm not sure why that one, why those two were wrong, but cool. It's working now, so I guess I don't mind that much. Let's add a quick score. Let's see. That should be, let's create a scoreboard. Function scoreboard equal, I don't need beers, but I am going to have props, which will be the score. And then we can bring that down here. Rate some, or check your knowledge. Scoreboard. Score equals 0. But we actually don't want it to be 0. We're going to set it to 0 up here. Const score use state 0. And then score here is going to be score. And then when the click happens up here, we will need the set score. Set score. Well, we need, set score. And then handle click. You know what? We can do a use effect on the scoreboard component. I think that'll be a better idea. All right, so on the scoreboard, we need the score and the set score, and we need the is correct. And then, lost my connection to my mouse for a second. Then we'll do a use effect. Where we'll set the score to score +1 if it's correct, and we will watch for is correct. All right, so score is 0, still 0. Try again. We know that Susie B is correct. All right, so we're not iterating. Is correct. Where am I setting is correct right now? I don't have is, where is correct? Find is correct. Oh. Yeah, okay. That's not what I want to be keying it off of. I want to key it off of winner. So we're not doing is correct. We're doing is winner. What's our winner variable in state? Winner. All right, and we will watch for winner. And if winner, iterate the score. All right, let's see. We know that orange whip is the correct answer. Still not working, but we're close. Console log winner. And let's set winner that. Winner's undefined. Okay, where am I setting winner? Winner and set winner. It starts as null. Because I'm not passing it in. So in our scoreboard, we need set score, and we need winner equals winner. Now it's null, which is what we want it to be. And then we can look and we can see gold crest is true. So our score went up. We can see that sky blue is true. Our score goes up. we can see that sunny little thing is true. Our score doesn't go up. Cool. So now I'm going to be lazy and we're going to say, all right, make this look like a cool scoreboard game thing. I don't want to set the score. That's weird. Use tailwind, make the score big and bold and look neat. Cool. My score. And then we'll also put in here if score equals 0, let's say rate, try it out, else blank. So we refresh, our score gets reset to 0, correct, try again, incorrect, try again. Cool. Except for didn't update. Why is happy heard? Oh, why is it true? Try again. John Boat. I mean, that's fine. Should probably both be true at that point. And like I said, we needed to account for a state of neither being true, but that'll be for later. But it's also not iterating. It's shotgun wedding. So why isn't score going up? Also, this is a problem. This is no good. Is this me or is this JavaScript being bad at math? Let's undo the score stuff we just did. I don't care enough about putting that little message in. Checking for winner. That's all that we wanted. Showing the score. Okay, we're iterating again. That's fine. Cool. All right, so that's fine. That's working. Let's move has answered up above, up below the scoreboard. I like that H2, thank you. We need it to be bigger than that though. Class name equals text XL. I don't really need that. We can get rid of the coming soon. Which is on the beer battle page. All right, well, it doesn't work perfectly. Because 3, why is that like it is? All right, we got to diagnose that, and then we'll be done. We'll be done once we diagnose that issue. Let's see. Where am I setting that? Is correct as being set down here. It's checking the beer ID and seeing if the beer ID is the correct answer. So how are we setting? How are we setting correct answer? Starts as null, exactly right. And then in use effect, we're checking the higher rated beer. So we're checking initial beers 0 dot my score against if it's greater than the my score of 1, then we set it to ID of 0. You know, there's probably a better way. Why don't we could do score to beat. If we did score to beat, then it would be, I would check that. That way it would allow for both to be correct. So why don't we set, instead of wanting to match against the ID, but then we get, where else are we using correct answer? Passing it into is correct. And then is correct is true, and then we can set, okay, so yeah, this will work out great. So let's set a new state variable right after correct answer, and we'll update that. Const high value, and set high value, state is null. Then in the use effect, we want to take a look and we want to say const highest score, math.max, between those two, right? And then, so what we can do is instead of that, we can say set high value to whichever one is higher. And go here. All right, and then down in this, if we want this to be the correct answer, what we need to do is check the beer.data.myScore against the high value. All right, so now they're both false. Excellent news, good stuff. I've fixed it all. All right, so in our beer card, we'll say console log my score and is correct. So one of these two should be correct, but it's not. All right, so let's log out our high value because that's the issue then. So console log high value. Where is high value? High value is null still. All right, we're not setting it. Why are we not setting it? All right, fine, let's see what we want here. Const higher value equals that. Console log that out as well. Set the value. Both are not a number. Excellent news. So higher value is going to be all of that. Can we coerce both of these? I can't even even see it right now. There's so much in there. High value is null, and then higher value is not a number. So it's because it's not my score. It's because it's data dot my score high rated beer ID. That's not what I want. Oh, oh, that's why that's not working too. Because all this exists on data, not on the base. And I shouldn't need corset anymore because that should now actually be a number. And that should work. Refresh this page. Higher value is 4. All right, let's refresh. Let's refresh until we get one that we can just keep clicking, right? Try again. Both were the same, but that's good. That's good. This one didn't work. All right. 3.5 in true, 3 in false. Oh wait, no, it was right. Okay, that was good. That was good. That was good. That was good. Come on, give me one that matches. 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 There we go. Both were correct. Nice. All right, cool. I'm good with that. It's super jank, but yeah, we made it work. So yeah, cool. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm gonna push this live. I'm gonna send it to my dad and see what he thinks. I think that's a fun little thing for him to play around with. Yeah, we got there in an hour and 20 minutes. I know that I don't think anyone's hanging out with me anymore, but I appreciate those of you that did. And hopefully those of you that watch later on will find some value in this if you stuck around through the bugs in the beginning. So thanks again, and we'll see you next time.